Alright, so next up, her aerial moves. Alright, so starting with neutral A. Let me put the computer on jump first. There we go. So her neutral A is a multi-hitting move that can hit on both sides, that can hit from both sides of her. It's a very damaging move, 11%, which is really good for an aerial, attack. And yeah, multi-hits, sucks them in, and then the last hit knocks them away. Yeah, this move is pretty good for racking up damage and for going air to air against opponents. But an even better air to air move to use is her forward A. Her aerial forward, or like fair, all that smash lingo. So this move does about like 7% constantly. It looks sort of like Zelda's forward air, except there's no sweet spot as far as I know. Even though it looks like it would have a sweet spot just because of that little shine at the end. But as far as I know, I haven't noticed a sweet spot on this attack. But this move is really good because she has almost no recovery when you land on the ground with it. So you can throw this out constantly for air pressure. And let me tell Pit to stop jumping. Alright. So this move is very good because you can just keep throwing it out. It's very good for edge guarding against people who are airborne. So if you hit them multiple times with it, you can knock them pretty far where they can't recover. And yeah, it doesn't have any kill potential though, but it's very good. Comes out really fast, and yeah. Alright, next up, her back air. So she smacks the opponent with her shield. This does not require any sweet spotting, and it has the most knockback out of any of her aerial normals, at least horizontally. So this move is very good for edge guarding. Also, it comes out very fast like her forward air, but as you can see, it does have more knockback than her forward air. So this move is actually a reliable kill move at higher percentages. It's very useful it's even more useful than her forward air in terms of preventing people from recovering on stage. Not only does it have a great hitbox and it comes out fast, but it has more knockback. So it's easier to use this move to prevent people from getting back on stage. It's really good. But yeah, so next up is her up air. So I'm gonna set Pit to jump again. Alright, so her up air is a multi-hitting attack. So she's shining, and during this animation where she's shining, her upper body becomes like a hitbox that deals multiple hits. Well, not her upper body, but like her head area. There we go. So this move is very good. Not only does it do multiple hits, but there's a knockback at the end, and this could kill at higher percentages if your opponent is high up in the air. So this move, oh yeah, and also as you can see, it comes out really fast. So this is a very good move to use against people who are coming down. If people are, if you're beneath them, this is a very good move to throw out because it can kill, and even if it doesn't kill, you can rack up a good amount of damage. It's a very good move. So Pit just died at like 120%. But if you could go even higher and hit them with this move, you'll kill them at earlier percentages. It's a very good move. And let's see, next up, her down air. So her down air is this. It looks like a staff swipe from far away, but it's actually a kick. So this move, as you can see, has meteor smash properties. Oops, sorry. There we go. And in my experience, this is one of the easier meteor smashes to get in a game. It doesn't really require any sweet spotting. If anything, I find it difficult not to sweet spot it. Let me try hitting them without sweet spotting it. Oops. Yeah, I don't even know if there's like a non-sweet spot to it. However, I have noticed that the knockback for a grounded opponent is different than if he was in the air. So if you hit them while they're on the ground, they sort of fly sideways or more horizontally. Whereas if you hit them in the air, it's almost usually always a meteor smash. I almost got him right there. There we go. Yep, it's a very good move. So as you can see, Palutena in general, she generally has very good A moves, and there isn't an A move that I could think of that would be considered useless. So yeah, just experiment and see what fits you best. And I'll give like my recommendations on how to play her at the end of this video. But first, let's move on to B moves. So her standard B, her neutral B is Auto-reticle. So what happens is, when you press B, she shines this light in front of her, sort of like a radar scan. And if you can see, she sort of scans the opponent in front of her, and if people are within the line of sight or within range, then she'll automatically lock on and shoot them. So the max range, first of all, is about this far. Yeah, it goes pretty far, but beyond that, she can't hit them. You gotta be this close. There we go. So it's 3 hits. It's projectile. It's very good to rack up damage, and to play a distance game, you can also use it in the air. And just keep in mind though that she cannot fire at opponents that are not within her line of sight. As you can see, Pit is just barely out of the radar scan, so she can't hit him with it. She can't shoot him with it. And she obviously, if they're behind you, it won't work either. Also, if you're wondering, if there are multiple opponents on the screen, she will target the closest one. And that's about it you need to know about Auto-reticle. Yeah, it's just a projectile. It scans. It's basically easy mode projectile because it auto locks, and it's 3 hits, and you don't really need to aim it. You just need to be within the line of sight, and that's pretty much it. And what else? Her B up. So her B up is a teleport. As you can, obviously she just said it. It's kind of like Zelda's B up in that it's a teleport. You can also teleport diagonally. You can teleport diagonally downwards. You can teleport sideways. So the recovery for this move is pretty good. Not only does it go far, but she recovers fast too. So yeah, it's a reliable recovery move. It's very fast. The only difference between, the main difference between this one and Zelda's is that Zelda's actually hits on appearance and reappearance, and I believe Zelda's a little bit slower in terms of animation just overall. And I think Zelda's might actually be further. Yeah, I think Zelda's teleport goes a little bit further too. Alright. So next up is her side B. Is her Aegis reflector. I think it's called differently in the dub. I forgot, but I like to call it Aegis reflector because it reminds me of Urian from Third Strike. And I do know that it's called like Aegis something, but whatever. So her Aegis reflector is this, she puts on a wall. It doesn't last for a very long while, but this wall can reflect projectiles. It can reflect any projectile, and it has the additional property of pushing the opponent further away. Oops. It has the additional property of pushing the opponent further away. So something I like to do is just push a wall. Oops, like when they're recovering. Oh, I accidentally killed him. But basically when they're recovering, it pushes them a little bit further, so it forces them to use another jump or another B up. Basically it makes them harder to recover, and it makes it easier for you to hit them. And it pushes them as far as the wall will go. So you want to keep in mind that it doesn't prevent them from going through the wall. I believe if they run through, they could still go through. Also their attacks, the physical attacks, could still go through. So if I do this and Pit does a side smash, and it's a sword attack, right? So it's gonna, and if I'm standing right here when he does it, it's still gonna hit me. And as you can see, if you use at the closest distance, her shield is a hitbox. So it does constant 5% damage. It's a neat little touch. It's kind of like Wolf's standard neutral B from Brawl, where if he's close to the opponent, the blade of his gun will hit them. So similarly, Palutena's side B close-up deals a little bit of damage and knockback. And as you can see, it conveniently places them behind the wall. So if they throw out a projectile afterwards, it's gonna reflect. Alright.